Hello everyone, and welcome back to my monthly tag video. Now, you guys probably know I'm in love with tag videos, so I decided to do one every month. I decided to do them themed, but it didn't quite work out that way. As you can tell, we're close to Christmas and I should be doing something Christmassy, but instead, because I'm on a juice fast, I'm in my 90 days, so 90 days plus, I'm doing a 100-day juice fast. I've just been watching a bunch of videos about body positivity and stuff like that, and then this tag popped up, which is the big girl tag, and I decided there's no better time to talk about this subject and just shed some light onto what I think about, you know, being a big girl is and all that jazz. So let's get started. First question. What do you classify yourself as? Example, curvy, fat, thick, plus size, heavy, ample, or fat, spelled P-H-A-T, which is, it stands for pretty hot and tempting. And I honestly would have to go with curvy. I think fat is used more of an insult than, you know, actual, I don't know, when people call themselves fat, it's either like a skinny girl saying, oh my god, I'm so fat, and it sounds totally Mean Girls, Valley Girl type of thing. Not that I'm passing judgment, I'm just saying. Or it's used to like demean you. So I wouldn't say that. Like, the only time that I would say that about myself is if I'm pissed, and I've said that in the past. I've actually said it in one of my juice fasts, like why I'm fat, because I got some unsolicited advice and it just like blew the top off. Now, thick, if I were to have, I don't have like very thick thighs, or I don't have like a big butt or stuff like that. I carry my weight more evenly, and I am just bigger because I played sports like competitively, and I was a competitive swimmer for many years, so broad shoulders. So I don't think I'm thick, although I have been called thick. Plus size, I could say I'm plus size when it comes to clothing. Now, when I started like before my juice fast, I was a size, and my heaviest, I was a size 22 wide. And now, like the last time that I took my measurements was around day 65, I think, of my juice fast, and I was a 16 to 18, which I'm perfectly happy with. I do want to go down on the scale, but technically I'm still plus size. And believe it or not, plus size starts at a size 12, which I think is ridiculous, because I don't think a woman who wears a size 12 is plus size, in my opinion. I'm 5'7", so maybe that will give you a rough idea. Heavy, no, I don't think I'm heavy. Ample, I think ample is like for more like voluptuous or something, but I think that has like more of a sexual connotation, so I don't go that route. And the P-H-A-T, I've never used it before, but the pretty hot and tempting, I mean, I guess if you put a curvy girl like in a bodycon type dress, then yes, that is pretty hot and tempting, if I do say so myself. I just love women with curves. I'm sorry. I have nothing against, you know, if you have a small build, this is not me skinny shaming anyone. It's just my personal preference. I like, you know, over the top women, big bust, loud, big hair. That's you know, that's what I'm drawn to. Like, think Pamela Anderson, but a bit more curvy. Like a mix between Kim Kardashian and Pamela Anderson. Like, that would be my ideal woman. But a bit curvier. Just, you know, not so tight. Like, Kim has a very small waist. I think like something more natural, more realistic. Don't get me wrong, I'm not into like all plastic and like being, you know, like fat transfers or whatever they're called. Just naturally, that's what I'm like drawn to, and I don't know, I find attractive. Number 2, what is your body shape? Example, hourglass, spoon, rectangle, triangle, pear, or apple. Now, they give a little bit of a description for each of them, so I'll try and go through them pretty fast, but I already know what I am. So they say, the apple-shaped woman carries most of her fat in the abdominal region. She will generally have narrow hips, larger breasts, and a relatively large waist. The pear-shaped woman carries most of her body fat around her hips, thighs, and buttocks. She will generally have a smaller upper body, smaller breasts, and a heavier lower body. Then the spoon is where the hips are slightly larger than the bust. Then you have the triangle where the bust is larger than the hips and the waist. Or you have the rectangle where the bust and the hips are basically the same circumference. So like more boxy. So, and they don't have a description for hourglass. I guess that's like self-descriptive. I don't know. I don't know why they don't have a description for hourglass, but honestly, my body shape is more of an hourglass shape. It wasn't like this before, like when I was younger in my late teens, early 20s, I was pretty, maybe I was like a pear-shaped, I don't know if I was pear-shaped, but like, or more of a boxy, like I didn't have big boobs, and I don't know where I carried my weight. It was everywhere. So maybe I was a rectangle or a pear or something, but I definitely did not have big boobs. But later in my 20s, my boobs like went from a size B to a full D cup, and now my measurements for my bust and my hips are almost the same. My hips are slightly larger, but I mean, this is changing now that I'm losing weight, so I don't know in the end where I'll be, but I do have the narrow waist naturally. I haven't done anything to it. It's just the way that I am. And then larger hips, bigger bust, and then I do have broad shoulders. So I don't know. I would guess I am the hourglass / spoon. Number 3, are you comfortable / happy at your current size? Like, this question has a multiple of questions. So are you comfortable / happy at your current size? What is your positive as a plus size person? And it says must give. So I must say a positive thing. So basically it's like 2 questions. So the first part of the question, am I comfortable or happy at my current size? Right now, the last measurements I took, 16, 18, yes. But back when I was a 22, I wasn't, just because I was at my heaviest, and I don't have anything against being heavier. It's just not for me. Like I've said before, I've always been into competitive sports, and therefore I've always been on very strict diets, and I've always been thin, but because of working out and dieting like a mad person, that is not my build though. I am not like, you know, if you look at the women in my family, they're all voluptuous, curvy, full-figured women. So for me to be thin, I really have to work my tushy off. So right now I am comfortable because I've just lost a bunch of weight, and I have just dropped a bunch of sizes. Now, about 4 years ago, I managed to get down to a size 8 or 8-10 US, and that's when I was my happiest. So I would say I still have a ways to go in order for me to be fully happy, but I mean, this is already fantastic. And do I see what is my positive as a plus size person? I don't know exactly what to say. I guess you just learn more about yourself. I mean, I have struggled with my weight throughout puberty, like starting from puberty, like all through my teens, and then my 20s. I mean, I'm still in my 20s. I'm just in my late 20s. So I have struggled. I have gone like up and down on the scale. I guess the positive is that you can't just rely on your body. Like, to, you know, get attention, which is what most girls, when I was in high school and even in college, that's what they did. So I guess I didn't go the whole bimbo route, if you know what I mean. I was more focused on studying and stuff like that. So it builds character, honestly. You work harder, you know, you're smarter, you're funnier, you have greater conversation, you develop a sense of humor, a good sense of humor, not cheap jokes or anything like that. You can, you know, roll with the punches. I think you just develop thicker skin. So contrary to popular belief, I think people or women who are plus size are more determined, and they know like what they're worth. And you know what? Not everyone is into like the stick figure skinny or the big boobs or whatever look. Some men actually appreciate a curvy woman, and I think that that's how it's supposed to be. Like, you know, it's not everybody's cup of tea. Not everybody loves blonde. Not everybody loves brunette. Not everybody loves redhead. I think that's the beauty of it, that there's so much diversity. So if you are in the company of people who are always telling you that you're not enough because you're not skinny, then you're in the wrong company of people, and you should change the group, change your relationships. If it's a partner, definitely that person needs to go. So just keep that in mind. Number 4, would you like to lose weight, and if so, how much? And then there's a second question: what is your negative as a plus size person? So would I like to lose weight, and if so, how much? I'm already on a weight loss journey. So like I said, I started out at a 22 wide 3 months ago, and currently I'm a 16-18 US, which is considered regular, but technically it's still plus size. Ideally, the weight that I was happiest at was a size 8 to a 10, 8, 10, but that was in my early 20s. So I don't know if that size will look good, like if I will look as good at that size. I don't know. I love my boobs, so I don't particularly want to get rid of those. And I like the whole hourglass curvy thing, but I do want to drop some more weight just till, and I don't have like a number on a scale. I don't weigh myself. I think scales should be banned unless there's like a medical reason for you to get weighed. I don't think you should. I mean, who cares? So I honestly go by clothes size, and even then different brands have different sizes, so you can't, but I don't let numbers shape my life. So I'm just gonna lose weight until I feel comfortable in my own skin. And honestly, this juicing journey that I'm on, this juice fast, has mostly been triggered by me worrying about health issues rather than weight issues. And I do talk about this like extensively in my videos. I am on some pretty heavy duty birth control, which is very damaging for the liver. I used to be a smoker. I'm heading into my 30s. You know, a lot of, you know, late nights. I've never been a drinker. I don't drink, but I mean, I did have the occasional drink here and there. And I just felt like, you know, my body needed a good scrubbing on the insides, and I just wanted to make sure that all of my organs are functioning properly. And that's pretty much what triggered my desire to like go on a healthier lifestyle. It's not just for a vain reason of, oh, I want to be a size 0, because I don't. Like, if you are, that's good, but that's not me. I don't think, I don't really find that attractive. I don't know. Maybe if you would be like shorter, be a size 0. I don't know. I like more voluptuous women. So I'm never gonna have like unrealistic expectations. And I know that for, you know, curvier women or plus size women, a size 8 or size 10 sounds skinny, but to most of the world that sounds regular or even large. So just saying. And then the other question, the second question for like question for part 2 is, what is your negative as a plus size person? I think it's the prejudice. I think people just believe that because you're a plus size, you are lazy and you just like to stuff your face, and, you know, you're constantly eating fried things and you're dumb, and like, you know, and all of these things that, you know, you get judged on. And that is not the case. I mean, from my experience, 99.9% of the times, a person is not overweight because of the fact that they like potatoes or they like, you know, fried foods. The reason, like, food is usually a coping mechanism. So a person, when they're overweight, they're actually in pain. They're suffering because of something. It could be something that happened in their childhood. It could be a current situation. It could be something that abuse or something that happened in the past that they're trying to bury, or it could be like a recent thing. I mean, you know, someone could have lost their job, could have gotten a divorce, could have, God forbid, had a miscarriage or lost someone, and food is a coping mechanism. So, or there are people who just have certain diseases, you know, like thyroid problems and things of that nature, which make you gain weight regardless. So this whole like prejudice against people who are overweight and who are plus size, it's just annoying. It's just like, you know, when they say don't judge a book by its cover, I feel it's the same thing. Like, you know, just people judge you so harshly, and there is, you know, there is fat shaming. But I mean, it's just as bad as, you know, like insulting someone for, I don't know, a disability, or for, because you don't know why that person is overweight. You have no idea. And, you know, I feel like it is so wrong. So that's the negative, like being made fun of, being called names, being pointed at, being stared at, you know, getting even comments from family like, oh, you've had enough of that, whatever, or, you know, good thing that you're eating less, or, you know, like things like that. It's just like, it hurts. Like, if this would be a disease, God forbid, if it would be cancer, like, people would not go around saying, oh, you're so embarrassing to me because you're losing your hair because of chemotherapy. You know, like, nobody would say that. But, you know, people and even family members will tell you like, oh, you know, I feel, maybe not to your face, sometimes to your face, which is even more hurtful. You know, they're going to be like, oh, well, I'm embarrassed. Or you can tell. You can just tell that they're embarrassed that you are the size that you are. And that's just something that I had to deal with in my past relationship. You know, I've gotten comments from my ex like, oh, you know, you're gonna be so beautiful when you're gonna be skinny, and like stuff like that. And I was just like, by the way, that relationship is long over, and I was like not ripe when I started dating the guy. I was like 15, 16, so clearly I wasn't thinking straight. But if anybody says anything like that to you, just let him or her go, because it's not worth it. And if it comes from family, then try and put your foot down and say, you know what, this hurts, this is not helping, which I have personally done in the past. But with some family members, you just can't, like, you know, it's just in their nature to be so loving. And, you know, I know that they mean well when they're telling you, like, you should have a salad instead of whatever at some family gathering, like a birthday, but it's ridiculous. So I don't think there's one negative thing. I think there's a bunch of negative things associated with being overweight, and mainly it's the fact, like, they think that fat people are lazy, and fat people are not lazy. They're hurting, and they have a problem. And it just, this is the effect. The cause is something else, but this is what you see. It's basically, it's scars, it's battle wounds. That's what really excess weight is. And that's why, you know, I want to lose weight. And for me, being thinner and healthier is important because I comfort eat. So when I'm overweight, it means that I'm unhappy or I'm depressed or I'm just going through something really horrible, which I've been going through like horrible things the past 4 years. And that's why I've gone to like my highest weight. And now I'm trying to like reel it in and get my life back on track. And this is one way of doing it. I'm not saying that everybody needs to lose weight, not at all. If you're happy at your size, that is perfect. I'm just talking about myself. Number 5, what is a fat thing that you do and think is funny? Example, breathe heavy or sweat profusely. I do sweat quite easily, but that's because of sports, because I've trained all my life. So if I get going, my body's like, oh my god, we're like in marathon mode. So like, you know, it's like full on gear. So yeah, like I sweat more easily, but it doesn't have to do with my weight. I sweat just as easily when I'm thinner, so that has nothing to do with it. Breathe heavy, I don't know. See a piece of cake. I keep thinking of that meme with the chubby cat when it sees something and then it says underneath like heavy breathing. Like that's kind of what I think of. I don't know. One thing, that fat thing that I think is funny is I don't like, even my boyfriend says, my current boyfriend who loves me, you know, and he has been with me when I was a size 8 and when I was a size 22, so he loves me in all of my shapes. It doesn't matter. But he noticed this, and I did as well. I binge, but I don't mean binge as in binge eat, like eat till I pass out. But when I crave something like let's say pasta, I will have pasta like 3, 4, 5 days in a row until I'm done, until I can't see pasta for another 3 to 4 months. So in that sense, like I will have it every single day till it's out of my system, or whatever, like French toast. I just go through phases and I need to have that thing, and I just like eat it breakfast, lunch, and dinner till it's gone, it's out of my system, and then I'm like, nah, I don't want to see it. So I guess that's like a fat thing. I don't know, that I think it's hilarious that I go, but I'm like this with a lot of things. It's not just food. It's like fragrances, or I just obsess, or like TV shows. Like I binge watch a TV show and I'm obsessed with it, and like I can't watch like one episode at a time. I have to watch an entire season or 2 or 3 seasons depending on what I'm watching. So I guess that's one thing that I do, which is funny. Number 6, what is your plus size pet peeve? I guess I already like covered them in the negative, the what is your negative as a plus size person. My pet peeves are just the way that people react to you, and the way that people judge you, and the way that, you know, society looks on people, and just how, like, especially women, they're like, you know, we're supposed to fit into like these molds and stereotypes, and we keep getting, like, all the media and everything just keeps saying the same message: you're beautiful if ... you look like this. But that's not the case. Not everybody, like, how boring would it be for everybody to look the same? I'm thinking of that movie, I can't remember what it is, where everybody had a robot self. I can't remember the name. I'll leave it down below. It was like everybody looked like Barbie and Ken, basically. I can't remember what the name is, but anyway, it's a action movie with Bruce Willis. Of course, it's action. But yeah, like, what's the fun in that? Like, what's the fun in everybody looking like Ken and Barbie? I don't know. Like, I don't find anything appealing in that. And a lot of people, especially when it comes to like plastic surgery, they tend to all start looking the same at one point, and that kind of worries me. So I guess my pet peeve is just the fact that you keep getting told that, you know, you need to look a certain way to be accepted, or you need to look a certain way to be loved or to be appreciated, or and you did this to yourself and it's all your fault, and you're fat and you're fat because of your choices, and it's so much more than that. It's not just, I watch a lot of documentaries, and just the food industry and everything. They like to blame it on you, like, oh, if you would just get off of your couch, you wouldn't be dealing with like weight issues. And it's not about that. I'm sorry, but like what they're teaching you on TV, like have a healthy, breakfast cereal and have, 5 meals a day and stuff like that. That is not, that's in the best interest of people who are selling the food. That's not in the best interest of you. So I do have a bunch of documentaries that I recommend watching, and this is not about being fat or being skinny. This is about being healthy, and this is about having your eyes open and realizing what is actually happening, and what the food industry, especially in the developed countries, they're just pushing on you these ideas that it's your fault. It's your fault that you are in the situation that you are because you are a couch potato, or you are a whatever. So I have a lot of pet peeves, but I will leave a bunch of material down below for you guys if you're interested. And it's not your fault. It's not your fault. This is like fat shaming and everything. It is not your fault. You're not in this situation because you can't get off the couch or you can't put down the chips. It's not about that. It's something completely different. And if you've ever struggled with losing weight, and I think most plus size people have at one point or another, you need to learn how your body actually functions and understand what you're putting into your body. And if you're putting healthy things into your body will just naturally settle at its optimum weight, which for some people is going to be really thin, and for other people is going to be larger or curvy, or whatever the case may be. But in this case, I'm talking about like morbid obesity and stuff like that. And you know what? If you need help, and therapy is always available, because again, I do not think that a weight issue is really a food issue. I think it's a psychological issue, and I think the root of the cause needs to be fixed. Before you can fix your outside, you need to fix your inside, and sometimes that means changing the way that you view things. I know I'm going all on a tangent here, but I just have a lot of things to say about this subject. I'm sorry. And the last one, number, 7? Give us a plus size tip. Example, deodorant increases, angling for the camera a certain way to appear slimmer. My tip is, and this is from personal experience, I've always looked at magazines and stuff. I love magazines, even though they're not sending the best message and they're photoshopped and everything. So I know it's not real, but I still love them. I still find them beautiful. And there was always a comparison between taking a picture of myself, no makeup on, my hair not done, just in like regular clothes, and then putting that against like a cover of a magazine and saying, oh my God, I don't look like that. I'm never going to look like that. And I guess my tip is not so much about hygiene like deodorant, but it's about pampering yourself. Do go out there and buy yourself makeup and fragrances and clothes, and just love yourself and take care of yourself. And you know what? Put on, I don't wear makeup on a regular basis. If you watch my Juice Fast videos, which I'm getting close to 100 days now, I have filmed every single one of those videos without makeup on. And I'm okay. I don't have a problem not having makeup on. So it's not a issue for me. And in my everyday life, I don't wear makeup. except for like special occasions. But I do like putting makeup on, you know, and shooting a video. And I do like putting makeup on and like doing my hair fancy and then doing a, you know, improv photo shoot. So in order to love yourself, just put on your face and do your hair and buy yourself some nice clothes that you feel amazing in, and that's my tip. And about the camera angles, I mean, if you start taking pictures of yourself, you will find the camera angles. It's always more flattering if you have black and white pictures, or the sepia or whatever they're called, like those brownie, like they're like beige colored. I don't know how to describe it. That's always more flattering. What else is more flattering? And when it comes to like photography, you can always use Photoshop if you want. I mean, I don't, but you could do that. But I guess just in general, pamper yourself. Pamper yourself, and you are going to love yourself and understand yourself. And that is my plus size tip. Don't hate yourself. Don't loathe yourself. Don't hate your stretch marks. Don't, just body positivity and just being positive in general, because positive thoughts lead to positive results. And if you're happy in the body that you're in, that is fantastic. You know, I admire you and I applaud you. But if you're one of those people who are not happy as a plus size person, there are things that you can do to make yourself feel better and to feel happier. And you know what? You can look like that person on the cover of a magazine if you wish to do so. So I think that was like the disconnect that I had personally in my life. And again, my mom was against me wearing makeup, so obviously there's no way you're gonna look like, you know, someone on the cover of a magazine without the clothes, without posing a certain way, without the makeup, without the Photoshop. It's impossible, because they're selling you an illusion. So comparing yourself to something that's not real, I mean, even I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think even Cindy Crawford said, I would love to look like Cindy Crawford, and she referred to the pictures, like the pictures of her. She would love to look like that in real life, but she doesn't, because nobody does. Like, no supermodel, nobody looks like that in real life. You know, these are just layers. So if I have a tip, is just take care of yourself and do all those things. I'm not saying use this as a means. I mean, it can boost your confidence, obviously, you know, putting on makeup, but it's not a necessity. It's not something that you need to do. You know, you can feel comfortable without it. I'm just saying, if you want like a boost, and if you want like, you know, those beautiful pictures or whatever, just go all out and, you know, go crazy with the makeup. If I recommend learning how to do makeup properly, learn it from drag queens, because they have the best way. I mean, obviously tone it down. don't go all drag queen, but that's how I learned to do my makeup, is by watching drag queens doing their makeup and in videos. And they just have a way of making your face look more womanly and softer, and you know, it can, and the whole playing with bronzer and highlighter and stuff like that, and like, you know, you can get rid of your double chin, you can have like more sculpted cheekbones. Like, makeup, if you're a girl, go for makeup. That is my tip. Go for makeup. Just do like photo shoots. I mean, I'm using a webcam. You can absolutely use anything these days, and just have fun with it. And that's it with the questions. But I do have my own personal tips or message that I want to give you guys, and that is, don't think any less of yourself because you're not a certain size or you don't look a certain way. Do not let people walk all over you or degrade you or tell you that you're not enough because of how you look. Those are negative, toxic people that do not have a right to be in your life. Do not settle for less. Don't let a guy or a girl treat you horribly because you think that's the best that you can do, because that is not true. Someone who will love you no matter what. It will be unconditional love. They won't love you because you're skinny, or they won't love you because you're plus size. They will just love you for you, and it doesn't matter what size you are. So just be very careful of that, and don't self-harm, and don't go into those dark places that sometimes people who are dealing with weight issues end up. Don't hurt yourself. If you are struggling, you can always send me a private message, and I'm here. I will answer your question. I will help you if you need help. But just don't go down that dark road. I have suffered from depression in the past for many reasons, including my weight issues. But my weight issues were there because of other traumatic experiences that have happened in my life. So it wasn't my love for chips that got me in that situation. It was something else. So please just spread positivity and don't sabotage yourself. Don't punish yourself. Don't have the mentality of like, oh well, if I'm already fat, then what does this matter? What does that matter? There is a light at the end of the tunnel. There is a way out if you're struggling. So I'm always here. Just leave me a message, or you can find me on Facebook even. And if you want to lose weight, and if you want to get happier and healthier, and even deal with your depression or whatever it may be, then you may want to look at my videos of my juice fast and really my journey towards health. And I think that maybe that would help you guys. So as far as tagging people, I'm not gonna specifically tag anyone because apparently people don't like to do tag videos. But if you want to do this video, I absolutely tag you. You're it. If you do this video, leave a message down below. You can either, even better, you can answer the questions in the comments if you want to, or if you make your own video, just leave me the link to your video in the comments, and that's kind of how they do like the response videos nowadays. So that's about it from me. Don't forget to thumbs up this video, subscribe if you like to. I would love to have you. Big hugs, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.